by saying that you're here this afternoon because I signed the ICE agreement. Yes, I signed the damn thing because we really had to. We were put in a tough spot. I can't let our entire board of county commissioners and myself be removed from office. I say that with all sincerity because of the role, the responsibilities that we have here within this community to take care of our community and look out for our residents. I did not want to be in a position where the governor will have the opportunity to insert his minions in the roles to lead this county. Because of that, with the advice of the county attorney's office, we decided today that we're still several days away from Tuesday. I thought that it was urgent that we needed to take action now to preclude the possibility that the elected body here within Orange County could be removed from office. I hope you understand that. That was a calculated risk that we had. Obviously, if people who have no elected responsibility to our county would be inserted or put in place, that would be catastrophic to the continuity of government here within Orange County.
And welcome to another edition of Let It Be Known. Well, we heard it from the mayor's mouth, Neil. What does it say when even Black elected officials are forced to conform or risk removal?
Wow. Good morning, Let It Be Known family. We have a lot to talk about today, starting with that story. It is the way that this Trump Klan administration are putting state and local elected officials in a catch-22, having to, have your job threatened, having to have resources that are allocated to your city and state withdrawn because you don't go along with certain things. I think this is another layer that we're beginning to see how this Trump Klan is forcing people to do not the will of their constituents, but the will of the Klan.
Yeah, and this is an elected mayor. This is an elected and down in Florida, we've seen it happen even before Trump came back into office with DeSantis down there, removing elected officials. So that's where it's a real scary slope there.
No, it's happening. We saw what happened on Friday in Texas. I really applaud the people of Texas for pulling up to that public hearing. I watched a little bit of it. The way those white men were talking to those people in Texas, it sounded like a 1965 Klan situation. And I applaud the elected officials that fled Texas so they don't have to vote. I mean, eventually we know that it more than likely is going to happen, but it's just chaos across this country right now. Everywhere you look, there are little fires, and you see Democrats trying to hold the line of some type of democracy. But this Trump Klan and this Project 2025, which a lot of Black people were trying to warn everybody else who voted for Trump that these things were going to begin to happen. And it's like, it's just getting tighter and tighter and tighter.
Well, the governor of Texas is threatening those lawmakers with removal and replacement and felony charges. And when folks, I hope folks are not passed or not still on that. Well, they can't do this, they can't do that. They are doing it. So the mobilization, as you spoke of, the people, it's going to have to be that. It's going to have to be folks going to have to step up, stand up, and fight.
Yeah, I mean, I was so proud of the Texans on Friday. Jasmine Crockett, she was at the forefront. She also uplifted the state of California. Gavin Newsom said FAFO. He literally did a post that said FAFO, Trump. You guys sit up there and you add those seats and try to displace Democrats in Texas. Well, guess what? I'm going to add some more seats. FAFO. That's what he told them. And so I'm so glad that there are some Democrats that have the power that are going to hold the line. I know New York said they were going to do the same thing because going back to our initial story, what's happening to a small town in Florida? You know, that governor, I mean, that mayor of that town is like, I don't have no choice.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to have at least maintain what I have, I kind of have to go along with this.
Right. Yeah. We see it in DC. The mayor has, at the behest of Trump, is removing all of the unhoused people from their camps. And so it's the capitulation that is going on. They're doing it for survival. And so the shackles are back on, folks. The shackles are back on.
Right.
It's crazy. And then going along with this, for all you who are supporting this guy, it's particularly you folks of color who are supporting this guy, Black unemployment has reached new highs. It jumped to 7.2% in July, its highest rate since the height of the pandemic. And that's a sharp rise from the record low of 5% under the Biden administration. It's been this high. It hasn't been this high since December of 2021. So if Trump says he's done more for Black people than anyone else, does he mean more damage?
Well, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It's impacting Black women the most. Over 300,000 Black women were, unemployed at the top of the month of last month. And so once again, I think, today's a good day to remind folks of Project 2025. That project was designed to do things like this. And we see that is being implemented, and we see the impact that it is having on communities of color. And a strong portion of that is Black women. The Black women of 92% who tried to save this democracy, and we're being hit the most. I mean, but we tried to warn America. We tried to warn y'all.
Well, yeah, you're right, and this is where things are. And again, you still see like a Lawrence Taylor, who's as Lauren G would say, 5 cans short of a 6-pack, doing that step and fetch it show at the White House, and you see so much of that, and it's just.
Well, we don't see so much from Black people.
You see too much of it.
Some of
you
it.
see too much of it from Black men.
I mean, I wouldn't even say too much. I'm gonna give Black men and Black women their credit. We not doing it at a high rate like all them others are doing. Okay.
Oh no, but one is too many. Lawrence Taylor is too much. You saw Trump go after Charlemagne because Charlemagne simply spoke the truth. Charlemagne and he wasn't bashing Trump. He just said, hey, I think this guy his policies are not working. And Trump went right into his racist bag immediately. We'll move on to some even more. This shows you how important it is to pay attention. A dashboard mounted phone captured what police body cams couldn't. Florida officers beating William McNeil Jr., a Black college student, during a February traffic stop. The video was recorded from inside McNeil's car, and an investigation has started. And of course, renewed calls for Black drivers to protect themselves with in-car cameras. Ben Crump is saying this is what we got to do. And folks, again, if police body cams can't capture the truth, and the justice system won't protect us, what is our plan of defense, Niele?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I'm so proud, like I think applause to the people power. We still have to be on the front line and record things on our phone. I mean, that's how we got justice taking a Black man's life. I don't think justice fully will ever be given, but justice was, served to the best of the ability. When we look at what happened with George Floyd, his murder was captured on video by just regular everyday people going to the store, minding their business. They saw something and they recorded it. And I mean, that's just what it's going to have to be. People power. People are going to have to start, when they see something, they're going to have to record it, and we're just going to have to do it that way. Because we know that a lot of police officers feel a certain level of protection that they didn't have before, because of this Trump administration, and how, they want to double down on qualified immunity for police officers. But once again, thank God for people like Ayanna Pressley, who was trying to get rid of qualified immunity by working with Black Lives Matter and changing policy. And so, we're going to have to keep those people going, and us, the people, we're going to have to just pull out our phones and record.
Yeah, Mike V says dash cams can save your life, and MB says train in nonviolence and non-cooperation. Tactics that, again, Martin Luther King, going back to Martin Luther King. So folks are saying, what else can we do? So
and then, of course, the Black press speaking up. I know that story has been around. You haven't seen a lot of it. I think we've been talking about this story for, not us, but Ben Crump. They have been trying to have press conferences. They have been trying to have press pick up this story. And when you look at the news today, they don't cover things like this anymore.
Yeah, and you're right. That's why it's critical, folks. It's critical to support your Black press,
or your Black media outlets.
Black media outlets. Yeah, it is absolutely critical. And look, with so-called DE&I and all that, we're all dying on the vine here. So it's really crucial, if you want to continue to have somebody legitimately document history, our history, and what's going on now. Support your Black-owned media. That's really the bottom line. Listen, good things come to those who wait, right? Even when you're a little bit delayed. And I tell you what, we got a real good thing for you this morning. Not a thing, but an individual. It is absolutely always a pleasure to have this man join us. He is one of the greatest, and certainly in my book, he's certainly up there as among the greatest. The one and only Chuck D from Public Enemy. Chuck, thanks for joining us this morning.
Got my Spike Lee glasses on.
I noticed.
I love it.
How you doing, Stacey?
Good morning.
I'm not up early. I'm up late. So
Okay, that's good.
This country got three times, 4 time zones, and people 3 time zones. So sometimes people always say, "Yo, man, you still up?" And I'm like, "You don't know where I'm at." And 2 weeks ago, I was in 5 different time zones.
Yes, we want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because, when you think on the history of hip hop, and you think about Run DMC's record, Walk This Way with Aerosmith, right, and the crossover, exactly, all that stuff that people talked about and how huge that was. Now it seems like rock has understood, and maybe not just now, but they have understood the importance of rap. And you guys were just on tour. Public Enemy was with Guns N' Roses. Tell us about how that came about, Chuck, and how'd you feel about that tour?
It's funny you say that, because this has been my struggle right throughout, that we take care of our music and our genre, like the rock guys always seem to take care of theirs. One thing you could easily say, like, we in Black music and they do white music, but it's not like that. When you know the history, you know that we created rock and roll in the first damn place. Comes out of the blues. But it seems like, it gets to be a slippery football sometimes, where we think that, and I say sometimes we got to watch the word "we" too. We're not allowed as a people to pass out everything that we've created down so easily. And so it's very easy for them to steal the ball, or it getting co-opted or whatever. So if you look at the history of rock and roll, it's splintered in so many different areas. And we're part of that roll part. Okay, if they say, "Hey, listen, we just went harder into rock and riffs and stuff that comes out of the blues," then everything else is the roll. mean, the dance, disco, hip hop, is really the epitome of that. But in the rock world, what they've done over the last 50 years since Elvis and the Beatles is just like been very safeguarding on defining what it is and protecting it by every cultural means necessary. And if we're aware of it, we know that we demand that we be included into that narrative. But if we don't know about it as participants, musicians, artists, and fans alike, then we're going to be outside of something that's happening at a very big scale, at least in the northern hemisphere of the planet. And we're a lot in the southern hemisphere of the planet. So when Public Enemy, or even when I did Prophets of Rage, when we're in the places like Africa and South America and Australia and all the southern regions of the planet, you start looking at numbers of 40, 50,000 people that look just like you. In the northern part of the planet, and you go into places like Europe, you're going to run into 60,000 Europeans in the stadium. And trust me, I mean, say what you want to say about the Guns N' Roses. I never seen one group do a 4-hour show banging a stadium hard from beginning to end like that. So,
Yeah.
and they go through all kinds of massage therapy and stuff like that. But at those levels, either you do those songs hard or the songs end up doing you. It's impossible to do those songs coming in half stepping. And that comes up out of us. That comes up out of James Brown. That comes up out of the 50s and the 60s and the 70s when you look at Gladys Knight and the Pips and Motown, Michael Jackson and all Frankie Beverly, black artists gave 190% because you didn't know where that next gig was going to be.
Right.
But over the last 25 years in all different aspects of our music, and I'll end on this note, we've taken advantage, we're taking for granted the brilliance that comes out of us. And it's like, I don't follow that music because I just ain't into it. We don't pass it down well. I mean, I when I grew up, as an adult, I wish I knew more about the blues. And as an adult, I found out more about the blues that I didn't get that passed down. My mom and dad passed down, aspects of jazz. My dad was passing down sports, but my mom's Atlantic Stax Motown family. But she that's what her thing in rock and roll a little bit. But they wasn't passing down no blues, and they wasn't passing down something past their teenage years. So yeah, I gave a long answer, but that's what it was like, man, going out and seeing that it's a well-oiled machine, those rock tours, and 80,000 people in the stadium, and you go into a country. And one thing about Europe, they might be a different country speaking a particular language for that country. They ain't even speaking the next language for the next country. And you go to Finland, they're speaking Finnish, they're speaking Swedish in Sweden, they're speaking Norwegian in Norway, they speak in Lithuanian and Lithuania, Bulgarian, Serbia, they're speaking, Serbian, Balkan language. But one day at the end of the day, they all know they're Europeans. They're gonna have wars with each other. And I come back, I said, well, damn, this system that made us as black folks not look and come up with a single narrative that we black anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like we got divisions. We don't need no damn divisions.
Not now.
We black in the world, right?
Right.
All these little factions. They deal with factions and they got countries to back their factions. We got factions, and what countries do we have to back our factions? You know what I'm saying? And so we should salute and adhere to that instead of any divisions, because once we're divided, we're easy to fall. Right. And over there, they know in Europe, and they know in Asia, and they know in the different parts of the world, they might be that of that country, but when they have to glue up together, they tell you in a minute, yeah, we European.
Well, first off, want to wish you a happy belated birthday. You just celebrated a birthday.
Oh,
happy
yeah,
birthday.
thank you. I'm joined the senior citizen crew. And my daughter says, yeah, but they changed that to 60 and ain't 65 no more. So I could get sloppy thirds at Denny's, I guess.
No, but happy birthday. You took us on a little journey about the history of music. And one of the things that we love about Public Enemy is how you always speak truth to power. I was able to see you at the 10-year anniversary of the Black Lives Matter here in Leimert Park.
Oh yeah, I had a good time that day.
Yeah. And so you were out there. And so you guys have a new project out. And I saw that you released a new protest song called March Madness. And you worked with some students. Can you talk a little bit about the song and why you felt it was important to drop it this year?
Well, it's just a constant motion. This album is still on CD and downloads and all that. This is the album we gave away to the world. And I said to Flavor, I said, listen, PA Public Enemy ain't possible unless you come up to be 50%. And Flavor's been phenomenal these last 5 years. So it's really half of the team is Flavor's production team and his management. And he took the impetus to really march this, no big pun intended, march this record into being. And I said, listen, in order for it to happen like that, because I'm always, got projects. I got a project with Def Jam called Enemy Radio. Yeah, there we go. And so Flavor's team came up with the March Madness, and he and his manager, Rhiannon Ellis, who is really part of the big Flavor Flav turnaround, came up with this song. And I think one of the lead writers and producers happens to be the great football legend Barry Sanders' son, Elijah Sanders.
Kidding. Wow.
Yeah, so they hooked up, and they had a class over in Harvard that also participated in the making of the record, which deals with the madness of just twisted gun freedoms or no gun laws in the United States, and also just the problems that they've had in the schools that really kind of started out in the 80s in Black communities when we had this influx of guns and drugs that came out of nowhere during the age of R&B, Reagan and Bush. And so we had Black shootouts in high schools in the 80s that we were trying to address, and they fell on deaf ears. And then later on it metastasized and became a thing in the 90s, and sadly this century became a mark for it, where people were not shocked. They're kind of desensitized and immune to another school shooting. So March Madness was something that dealt directly with that. And with Public Enemy, it's going to actually deal with a topic. A lot of people say truth to power, but what it is just expanding on your topics and your diversities as you're making records. I mean, you can't make records about the same thing over and over again, although they've trained artists to do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell that to the hip hop artist stuff today.
I mean, my thing is like this. It's like, well, singers are singing, they ain't singing love songs. It's kind of like confrontation songs. Like if I see you in the club or you see me doing that. So we've seen that the quote unquote artistic entertainment narrative of us is now on some confrontation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't look at me like this, I'll go in on you. And because they made, the drama about us be the most profitable thing. But the profitability of us and our drama, that also has diminishing returns too. And so it could diminish into nothing, where it's like, okay, now we got AI, so why would we be so amazed at your non-singing ass? You know what I'm saying? So we're always about, let's say, if we could push the envelope and just understand that it's one thing being a screenager, but the reality happens when you're looking at somebody eye to eye and face to face. Listening has now, especially with the technology, listening is becoming less and less of a quality that people are going to be working on, because they're fixated on listening with their eyes. They're screenagers. They're looking, whether it's a small screen or a big screen. When you get all your information through a screen, the problem is that it can appear to disappear at any time beyond your control. So if you don't have the direct person eye to eye, face to face, not only us as a people, but society is falling into a trap of really not really believing anything that your eye could see. We're getting down to that point. Back in the day, it was used to be like, okay, believe half what you hear and none, and believe half of what you hear until you see something. Now it's reverse. You kind of like in a minute, you're not going to believe anything you see.
Right.
Or it's to go in there safeguarding with that. And you got to believe half of what you hear, because now you got to tune in to listening. And people are not tuned into listening like they were 25 years ago, because their eyes are searching like Bluetooth. Their eyes are searching for the information. So technology has now worked in a vice versa way, that we got to figure out, how do we get pertinent information to people that protects them, in their lives. And now technology that started out as an asset, now it's working against people, because you could best manage these tools. You can't have them master you, and that's what's happening.
You spoke of the song March Madness, and one of the things that comes up, like for instance, RNG, he says that I woke up in a place I forgot was filmed in the Ninth Ward in New Orleans. He's from New Orleans, by the way, obviously, in 2007. He says that song and video is relevant in 2025. With Public Enemy, how important it is to make music that speaks to what is going on.
It's a little bittersweet, because here I am 65, Flavor 66. So, I mean, somebody can't come along and say, wow, y'all some conscious young men. Nah, we OGs, man. We sages like Ice-T and all that. We better know. I mean, so it's bittersweet knowing that this is not a 20 and 30-year-old thing, although the thirst is there. It's just that they can't figure out where to get their footing to be that type of artist that actually does more truth to power and more things that they could do. So they're locked in a holding pattern by what they used to think was the industry. There's no real record industry anymore. It's a facade. The entertainment industry is like a 3-card money game. Now you see it, now you don't. Watch the move in the clam and see where the marble's at. You know what I'm saying? So the fan and the artist are all kind of circling each other, looking to see like, well, what makes a living? What makes an artist? I mean, how do we engage with each other? Are you the fan and I'm the artist, or am I the artist and you the fan? It's like everybody on the stage at the same time with a camera and a mic, and opinions are everywhere. So is the put your the solid foot and get a solid footing in culture is a little bit of a difficult thing. It's different, but you got to have somebody that's able to give you the weather report. And the weather report from people like myself and people at our age, and even others that have 20 or 25-year careers, knowing that the world saves you there, because the world is bigger than the country. And right now they have treated people in the United States to stay put, be brainwashed, and don't know about nowhere else. And you stay your ass home, especially y'all Negroes. I don't want y'all going nowhere. So just thinking that once you think outside the 2,000 by 3,000 lower 48 box, that's a homeland security threat. 25 years ago, I used to say, listen, man, forget what I'm saying. Go get your passport. Passport's cheaper than rims or your favorite outfit or your favorite drink at the bar. Get your passport. Say that 25 years ago. Now, that could be looked upon as a security threat, because what they've done is they've isoballed. They isolated the United States into a melting piece of ice and told everybody, like, look, we're here to protect you and the rest of the world is bad. Don't go nowhere. Don't think nowhere. And matter of fact, amongst yourselves, I want y'all to find division amongst yourselves. I don't need y'all to group up and look at me this way. So, yeah, and understand this. As much as we think we know, there's more that we don't know. Right. And everything changes. The game plan changes like a chess game every year. The devil thinking 3 steps ahead. So what you might see us even in battle do, right? And somebody comes out of left field, you don't know if they bought it or not. Even if they're a human being, well, where's their influence? There was already 1 million bots that got planted into the into the mediascape in 2015 and 2016 and 2017, and they were formed the cause division. This is a known technical fact. So you farm a bot for 8 to 10 years, you got people following something that might not even existed as a person.
So
that's been online and nobody knows where they come from, and they might have been an avatar that's been on IG for about 10 years.
You talked about traveling, the importance of being a world citizen. You just came back from Europe and
Earthison, it'll save your life and it'll save your brain, number one.
Okay. You talked about the passport, traveling. You just came back from Europe on a world tour. What are the other countries saying about the United States right now?
When everybody say you go somewhere, people like, oh, be careful out there. You go to Serbia, you might be going to Africa. Be careful out there. And everybody on the planet Earth is saying, y'all need to be careful. You going into that hot box. It's a hot box right here. Yo, man, it's unprecedented. People scratching their head. Look, you got to, I don't even call him by his name, but I call him 4745. I'm putting out, I'm working on my NAFIC grovel. These are my former NAFIC grovels, and I'm working on one now that actually it's called Day One 2024 was 1984 FAFO. We FA found out.
That's what she says all the time, Chuck. Neil says it all the time.
I hear you, Miss Anderson. These are the four. I've been working on this like a year and a half, and it's
like a Bible, Chuck.
It's
oh wow, okay.
Oh wait, I'm in that.
Yeah. Right, you're in one of the old ones.
The old ones, yeah.
2026. Day One 2024 was 1984 FAFO. It'll be my last NAFIC grovel for a while, but it's definitely engaged. It's going to end up looking like, like these. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, the rest of the world is shaking and scratching their head. 4745 said, I won't go on a stadium project till y'all change your name back to the Redskins. I mean, you be scratching your head like, did this dude? And it's not really, listen, it's not really this guy who, it's just goonology. It's the goons that's planted around him. That's the fear. The goons planted into the population. The goons that's planted into the infrastructure. He gonna be he gonna fade in and fade out like a buzzer. He gonna lay his eggs and they gonna hatch. That's the fear. I've been seeing this dude since 1976. And I mean, I'm from New York, man. He pulled the New York 3-card money game on everybody in the country. Called them country bumpkins at it. So if you in the middle of Nebraska or Missouri or Arizona or whatever, he New York gamed you. He gamed you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gamed you twice. And so therefore, there's things that even don't that's like illogical. Like, man, you know what? They got to change their name back to the Indians. You be scratching your head. Logical, smart people. And then they be looking at people who actually got sense like they got no sense.
Right.
Mr. Farrakhan also told me in a private conversation 30 years ago, he said, you're going to enter a period where fire is ice and ice is fire anyway. So you got this, kind of brain up knowing that's coming. Sure enough.
You mentioned your daughter earlier, but what are you saying to your loved ones about how to navigate this particular time that we are in? What kind of advice are you giving them?
Paying attention is the cheapest price you're going to have to pay. You got in the technological blizzard, we got to turn these on seriously. You can't trust your eyes anymore because technologically what's getting ready to come even in the next couple of years and the next 2 layers of screens is that you're not going to be able to disseminate what's true and what's false anyway by your eyes.
Right.
And you have to go, if you're going to do something, remember this. Texting ain't texting ain't writing, and reading ain't scrolling. Anybody that think they reading, you reading something from a phone or a gadget, man, it could appear, disappear like that. So scrolling ain't reading, and texting ain't writing. So the detail of a book, people, yeah, you might be reading the words, but you've lost the ability to comprehend, which is an exercise. So if you're not going to comprehend a book, which is almost like a paperweight, then what has to come into play? You got to listen. Then if you're going to listen, then you got to be able to comprehend. Then you got to apply it. And back in the day, we used to call sense, right? Common, because you use your logic, rationale, and your deductive reasoning. That separated yourself from your dog. Now, as a human being, you're going to have to put because it's not common sense anymore. Sense is not common, especially not in the United States. It's common nonsense. So you got your senses or you don't. And if you're not using this sense of listening and then process it, you're going to get got. Simple as that. And when you get got, we the first to go because we're disconnected and disunited. But you know what? That's the battle. We have to be able to say, you know, well, is the shining light, that's the shining light. What y'all do this morning and everything, you know, that's the shining light. Stop making excuses. Go to the ones that shine in the light. Okay, and sports speaking, right? And okay, like we playing baseball, right? A sport that few of us play in the United States. And we in like the 6th inning, and you down like 15-2, right? I mean, you can't walk off the field. You got to know, like, damn, we're 15-2. Better yet, basketball speak. 3rd quarter, you down 25. You better figure out something. Catching the L real soon. You catching the L, they packing it in the 3rd quarter. Football, same thing. 3rd quarter, man, you down 4 touchdowns. You better figure something out. Black folks in the United States, we down in the box score. You down on the scoreboard. That doesn't mean we start walking off the field. It's like, damn, I quit. You know, it just doesn't work that way. You know,
100%.
Well, I want to give you a few topics, and I want to get your thoughts on them. I have about 4 of them.
I'll give my late at night swing at it. My sense is a little dull, but I'm good. I have my tea.
All right. Okay, so let's start. Hip hop 1973.
That was the official start, but it started in a borough that was de-emphasized out of the 5 boroughs, and they left it for dead, and that's the Bronx. And that doesn't mean that's the melting pot of Black folks. It just happened to be a place where Harlem is the center point. People moved out to the Bronx. They broke up the Bronx in a whole bunch of different places, left it for dead, and people picked up things that made something out of nothing. No different than when people migrated to Chicago from down south, and they said, you know what? We can't come with the same blues. We in a small spot. We work hard. We're going to electrify these blues so we could be heard. Well, that's hip hop in 1973. Hey, listen to this. I think Stacey, you might remember this. You're a lot younger, but remember 1973, they closed the Yankee Stadium down. The Yankees.
They had to play in Shea.
They had to play in Shea in 74, 75. So when I bring this up to people, they go, what? I said, yeah, of course you're going to say what? You born in 1980. But if you want to be a Yankee fan, know that they spent 2 years at the Municipal Stadium in New York called Shea, where the Mets played as well. So they left the Bronx for dead, and you couldn't even go to Yankee games in the Bronx. And out of that spirit, you know, something rose like Phoenix from the ashes.
Right. Okay. Hip hop 1990.
Hip hop 1990 was the year that the major corporations felt that they can all participate in having hip hop labels and figuring out records could be the main thrust. And now we can actually see if we can make some money with this thing. And we're going to make money, maybe not off of the other elements as much as the MC and rap music. So it was a turning point.
All right. Hip hop 2025.
Hip hop 2025 is still the term for young black creativity from a musical standpoint? Is it organized? Is it structured? Is it taught? Does the narrative control itself? No, it hasn't. It has to be kind of taken back, retaught, because it's a part of a 50-year culture. So you got to have the teachers come back in. There's aspects of it that's being recognized and saluted, but we have to tie it all together. So I'll tell you this much, is that if hip hop was an Olympics, I'm not totally sure that we come away with the gold in the United States.
Mm,
Isn't that
okay.
something?
All right.
Wow.
3 more.
Listen, I'll lay it out to you now, right? I've been to places where look, let's not get it twisted. Rapping is what? Using your mouth. People don't rap with their elbows. Right?
Right.
Spitting means you use your mouth and brain and all that, right? If you want to talk about devastating rapper, right? Unbelievable rapper, right? Why are you going to say the best rapper only can speak one language? I know rappers that can speak 3 languages and braid it. You go to Africa, linguistics is part of the life. They know 6 to 7 languages. And now 50 years on hip hop and having, Africans take it to hip hop, like, like just the same way Fela Kuti, took on the James Brown. Yeah, James Brown didn't invent the drum, but a new way of how the drum came back. Same thing with linguistics. The linguistics came back to Africa, and the Africans took to that like, what? The young ones, the new generations. Listen, even I could go like 12 years ago, and I'm in Johannesburg, and the big rap show that's out there on the radio, there's at least 100 rappers in the parking lot looking to get into the radio station. The most rapping city I've ever been to is Cape Town.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I got a book coming out that speaks on that. I have also the rap station in the network. We have 12 station channels. One of the stations is Planet Earth, Planet Rap. You listen to it and it'll learn you. So there's a lot of things I do that actually will teach you if you have the time to sit down. But that same thing, like old jazz heads tell people, yeah, I can learn you some jazz if you sit down. And people be like, man, I ain't trying to learn no damn jazz. So we're at that with hip hop in 2025.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have 3 more. We got 3 more to go.
People start dreaming up what they think something is instead of what it is.
All right, we got 3 more for you. Big Beef rap battle. Kendrick Lamar.
He's a great 360-degree artist. And he's learned that. It didn't come automatically. So he had to learn how to become a great performer. He had to be able to have the style that people say, oh, that's his style. You can't bite it and take it away from him. And he comes with substances and not afraid. So that's probably one of his biggest attributes. But it wasn't like an automatic thing with him. He kind of had to work it and learn it.
Drake.
Drake was a heck of a actor that I heard. I mean, it comes from Canada. He's international, and he was on TV. It was like Tupac. Tupac was a hell of an actor, and Tupac was a great rapper because he knew how to take the shortcuts to be that. And I guess Drake knew some of the shortcuts to make great pop records.
And last but not least, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter is important because for so long the narrative was we don't matter, and look, Black Lives Matter is bigger than an organization. So when people start coming up, yeah, but Black Lives Matter and they did this, and I was like, yo, listen, a simple statement. The statement is more powerful than any organization. It's like if we don't matter, nobody matters, right? Simple. That saves your argument. Yo, Black lives, meaning that if we don't matter, nobody matter. Then we all for broke, right? Black Lives Matter is really the struggle of what we always been trying to say. If an organization can't claim that, they can borrow and run with it. Like, I mean, I can't claim Fight the Power. Matter of fact, musically speaking, I didn't make the first Fight the Power anyway. And when people are shocked and amazed at that, that shows how piss poor we are about our own culture. Then I got to teach somebody about, oh yeah, you never heard of the Isley Brothers? Yeah, the Isley Brothers. Yeah, my mama liked them and all that. Yes, they made in 1975. Yo, I didn't know that. I'm like, damn, if you don't know that, then we in trouble.
Yeah. Well, first of all, before I say what I'm gonna say, our guy Chuck Memphis Jokes is watching this morning.
Yeah, well,
Great, great.
that's my guy. That's my guy out there in Memphis. He performed as we performed on Memphis on a Riverboat Festival, and came on the stage and did his thing. He got his podcast popping. He's one of the Spit Slam artists, and a matter of fact, I've met so many artists, and he's one of the artists that I met years ago, and he came on the stage years ago, did his thing, and I told him, I said, listen, man, I need a representative artist in this area, Mid-South, man. And he said, yeah, man. And I said, you know what, man? Memphis is a good name for your last name. And he ran with it, man. Like the other day, I was participating in Busta Rhymes' Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he always gives me credit for this, that, and whatever. But I said, Busta, I didn't give you the name. I gave it an option that it would work for you. And, you know, here we are. I said, yeah, you look down there, that's the name that's on that floor, on that ground or whatever. So,
Wow. Chuck, you talked about the Mets, Yankees, sports, basketball, gave it these analogies. One of the things I've always appreciated about Chuck D, among so many things, the narration, the voiceovers that he does, and none better, in my opinion, than that of Dave Parker. We recently lost Dave Parker. Chuck, tell us a little bit about your history with Dave Parker, with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the fact that he didn't live to see the Hall of Fame day, although he lived to make it into the Hall of Fame. Just give us, a minute of that.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Parker, a big baseball fan growing up, sports fan from my pops, and Dave Parker was one of those figures in the 70s as a teenager that I flocked to, because he was just more than playing on the field. He was, really speaking about how great he was, and that wasn't popular to do as a black person. But Muhammad Ali broke that veil, and Reggie Jackson and Dave Parker came up out of that after graceful heroes like Hank Aaron and Roberto Clemente. And I was fortunate to do the narrative of Major League Baseball, where I've done a few for Dave Parker's story, The Cobra at Midnight. I recorded a song for Dave Parker on my Re-Rec Stadium album, produced by my label partner, C-Doc. And then I had Dave Parker give me an autograph for his book. And he said, from one idol to another. So I'll treasure that forever. Dave Parker, I'll tell you, on some side note, when I saw a baseball card with Dave Parker wearing an earring, and this is 1981, I was like, yo, Dave Parker got an earring. I get an earring, and I ain't took it out of my ear. Well, a couple of earrings, but I ain't took it out of my ear since 1981 just because of Dave Parker. So
Wow.
so it was definitely bittersweet that he got into the Hall of Fame, but he didn't live to see that day. So yeah, there it is. There it is right there, Dave Parker.
Yep. He didn't make the ceremony, unfortunately. Young too. I mean, what was he? 71, 72, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, those are my hero. That's my hero zone directly. I come from the same town as Dr. J. So Julius Erving, he's like the #1 guy in basketball. And we were fortunate to see this man go down the street to the high school and to the college and follow him from the Nets on up to the Sixers. And the fact that Dr. J knows my name, the fact that I had a conversation with Reggie Jackson, the fact that these people know me. And check this out, Stacey. Marv Albert sent me a note, a happy birthday note yesterday.
No, stop it.
Yo, I was screaming, yo.
Yes, and it counts.
Yo, man, I'm telling you. And he sent a note over to me. I think he had my number from his son Kenny, who I know, and also his grandson. And he says, I thank you for all the support you shown me all the years, and how, I influenced your style. And I was like, wow, Marv Albert sent me.
Marv Albert. Wow.
That's
Probably
the
the greatest basketball announcer ever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
see, you guys are talking about things I know nothing about.
Oh,
That's right. See, the key is also, Miss Anderson, is that you could pick any topic, and back in the day, we could slide to any topic. Today's conversation, although we have all these gadgets, people kind of segregate in their own thing and be like, yo, I don't know nothing about that. So back in the day, you had to be diversified. You had to pick up on, even if you wasn't into it, you had to pick up onto it and then glide with it. And then, and not saying you pretend to know, but you know a little bit about something. Now we got these little pockets that I think we got to work with to get together. And that doesn't mean that you have to go follow sports, because I think we're oversaturated in this country of sports anyway. It's the United States of sports. And so 47, 45 would be spending his time talking about how the Indians and Redskins need to come back when, come on, dog.
Right.
Stop talking.
listen.
I remember that dude when he owned the Generals in the USFL.
Oh, God.
Disaster, right?
Herschel Walker.
That's why Herschel Walker. See, you never wonder who these people are, Neil. Herschel Walker used to play for his football team.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Here's another thing. Lawrence Taylor was a Giant who was also in that stadium in that area. So these connections come from the sports thing. He in Atlantic City, athletes, boxers coming down there. Before 47, 45 was a president, the dude's an entertainer. He's in the entertainment circles. He's putting up money over here. Oh yeah, he's a mogul. He was, to go from that world of, like this. Do I got any hate for the dude? No, I know he been pimping. Say, yo, dude, you an entertainer. Do you need to be a president? Hell to the no. And then he didn't get. It was like when Schwarzenegger was the governor. Really?
Right.
Don't vote for celebrities. Stop.
Right.
Well, listen, Niel.
You get what you get.
The other real quick thing, Niel, is Prince had two favorite DJs. He said, "Lord, if it ain't Chuck D or Jam Master Jay, you losing." So there it is.
That was another mind-blowing. That was another mind-blowing thing. Prince had listed his greatest influences, and he had about a list of about 100 people, and I was one of the 100 people. And my day of recording with Prince was just, I'll give it to you in a nutshell. I thought, I recorded with him, I knocked out the song, wrote it, and then he said, yo, just sit in the Paisley Park little foyer, and I'm looking through the glass, and I thought Prince is making a salad. So he's taking the 2-inch tape, going like this, and then the 1/2-inch tape, and it's like you almost heard like dun 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 dun, and then he comes out, yo, check this out. We go in the studio, and it was like glass.
Wow.
That dude was so much music. He was living music. So. When they was telling me like, yo, Prince, you making too much music. Now, in retrospect, in hindsight, you find it ain't enough.
Chuck, we hate to let you go, Chuck. I don't know if Neil, you got anything else. I'm gonna throw that to you because I know we gotta let him go.
I know we have to let him go, but this is a question that one of our folks wanted to know. What hip hop artists that are out today that you listen to? Are there any?
Listen, go to rstvapp.com. I have a 12-station app that I play everybody. So
say it one more time.
At rstvapp.com, and you get both of my apps, the Bring the Noise app, and also the Rap Station app. There's 12 radio stations on there. So if I told you Mickey Facts and I tell you Talib Kweli or Black Thought, I can name 100 in 2 minutes, but I ain't got that time.
Got it. Okay. Well, there you have it,
I definitely have the Bring the Noise app on both my phones.
Yeah, we're working to get that. It's getting better and better. To make those apps is difficult, and we're not $1 billion or $1 million company. So, but the Rap Station app is like glass and works. But it's audio and you listen. And Bring the Noise works like TikTok, 35 and older, for filmmakers, artists, musicians, and sports heads that want to upload. And we hope to be the home of trailers. You got a movie coming out? Put your trailer with us. I had to hit up Kerry Gordy, who has a new Ed Sullivan documentary. So he put his trailers up there yesterday.
Awesome. The one and only Chuck D.
Bring me on anytime, and I play with the time zones. So, anytime you got, it's always an honor to come on and represent. Thank you.
It's always our privilege. The one, like I said, the one and only Chuck D. My favorite, right? Without question.
Peace and love.
Neo, I don't know if you got any more
well, no, I
headlines,
think just coming out of that, most important headline is pioneer producer Hitman Howie T has died at the age of 61. And he was a heavyweight. He worked with artists like Special Ed, Chubb Rock, The Real Roxanne, UTFO, and Color Me Bad. And I thought, coming out of a conversation with Chuck D, it's only right to remember the life and legacy of producer Hitman Howie T. And that's your headline for today.
Did they indicate the cause of death or anything?
No.
Wow, that's sad. Wow. Black history fact for you. On this date in 1865, the Loyal Creek Council formally declared that African Creeks would be considered full citizens of the Creek Nation. African Creeks soon designated August 4th as Emancipation Day and organized celebrations including picnics, parades, and speakers beginning as early as 1867, which continued through the territorial days and early years of Oklahoma statehood. The celebration fell into disuse as the African Creeks and other Indian free people were increasingly marginalized in the 20th century. The celebrations have been reviewed and revived recently as the free people of the various Indian nations struggle for tribal recognition. So that's what happened on this date way back in 1865.
And today we highlight Black August. And if you haven't heard of Black August, it's a month-long commemoration focused on Black resistance, political prisoners, and freedom fighters with roots that started in the California prisons. It's also a time for reflection, study, and action within the broader Black liberation movement. And having somebody on like Chuck D today definitely speaks to what Black August is all about. And so as we look at what's happening in Texas and the Democrats fleeing, when we look at Chris Small, who just came back from Israel, who was abducted, trying to take goods to the Palestinian people. This is what Black liberation, this is what Black August is all about. And so we will be bringing more facts about what's happening around Black liberation and Black August.
And again, thanks to our special guest this morning. And thank you all for watching. Let it be known. Check out blackpressusa.com. I'm stealing a little bit of Niel's thunder right now. And check us out again tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.